If it's a day called today, we're talking guitars and life. So this guitar neck was purchased on Amazon for a project that I'm working on. And I felt compelled to make a vid about it in the thinking that if anyone out there is ever going to purchase a guitar neck from Amazon, from this brand, that you would just want to be aware of what you may be up against. So, start with the good news. The good news is we have a functioning truss rod. The truss rod worked just fine for this guitar neck. I was able to level the neck. I took my fret rocker and identified 6 to 7 unlevel frets. So just know that for me anyway, this particular neck, I'm not saying that every guitar neck made by the company is the same. I'm just sharing my experience that I had 6 to 7 high frets. I did not mark those frets because this was purchased for a project, and the people that I'm doing the project for may decide to send this neck back and attempt to get another one. And if they do that, then I didn't want to mark the frets up. I think I just found what I believe to be a crack in this neck. Holy cow. Is that a crack? Oh my goodness. Okay guys, this is not the video I planned to make. I have a list of things I wanted to tell you about. But this right here just caught my eye right here. Is that a crack? Certainly either a crack or a razor blade gouge of, not my razor blade, I'm just saying something. You see that, don't you? Huh. Well, man, so that's kind of where I am in the project. I mean, I'm assessing this neck and had just about decided that we would go forward with it based on what I was seeing, but then I happened to look down and catch that. And oh man. Well, let me tell you the carnage that is this neck, okay? So one of 6 to 7 unleveled frets. 2, let me grab a piece of paper here. I have worked on a lot of guitar necks that have had sharp fret ends. This is a piece of posted paper. I'm not sophisticated as my brother FFTL. I don't have pantyhose or stockings or nothing like that. I have a piece of paper. I can't even. Look at that. You got frets that cut paper, man. Cutting paper with the frets, man. So, one, just be aware that fret leveling is required for this guitar neck. 2, you'd have to file down the edges of those frets. Then you would have to crown those frets. Okay. Now for my particular project, I'm going to have to, these are 8.5 mil ferrule holes for your tuning machine heads. Typically on an import kind of neck, they would be 10 mil. Most of the tuners are 10 mil except for vintage tuners. So I am more than likely going to deploy this bad boy right here. Got it on Amazon. I'll drop a link in the description for you if you're interested in that. And turn those 8.5 holes into 10 mil holes in order to get the tuner situation working. There are just some kind of funky build up here on the edges. This fingerboard would be on top of the guitar, so the player would always see that. So I'm going to have to figure out how to get that gunk off. Look at these frets, man. Look at that. I mean, look, I can't even... Now, that's from a different thing. But yeah, man, you could see the grooves in those frets. Anyway, crazy. I did that. That black mark was not on the neck. So clearly, that's from me putting it in a guitar body that I'm working on for the project. Shh, it's a surprise. Anyway, so there's no holes obviously bored out here. That's not a big deal. On the headstock, you've got a little bit of a weirdness here. Just little imperfections like this. Really needs to be filled in. And you got a gap there between the wood and whatever this is. It doesn't feel like plastic. I don't know what kind of material that is. But then you could see that either this is something maybe that somebody had from Amazon and returned it. Look at those sand marks. So I get, okay, look, it's an unfinished neck, okay? So I knew that I was going to have to either stain this or paint it or something. I also, it is marketed as being black. This is clearly brown. And you can see that sandpaper lines this way. And then you just got some gunky buildup, kind of weird looking things right here. And again, you've got this 12 fret thing. I don't know what that is, man. What in the world is that? That's alarming. And then you've got these frets that continue to catch my fingers. But here's the big thing. So I bought this for a project that requires a Floyd Rose locking nut. If you like this kind of content, why don't you like the video? Consider subscribing to the channel. Come back anytime and hang out with us at Ted Talks Guitars and Life. And now, let's get back to it. So I needed this space. This is only one of like 3 necks that the headstock was going this way. They had a lot of reverse angle ones. I say a lot, 5. But this was about the only one I could find that had this angle on the headstock with the truss rod here. They had like some banana ones, but the truss rod was in the heel of the neck, and I just couldn't do that to my friend because the guitar I'm going to put this in, he would have to literally take the neck off the body and to adjust the truss rod. That did not make any sense at all to me. But this is problematic for sure. The main reason is you need this to be flat, and that piece of, there's some kind of material missing there. Anyway, man, in order for this neck to be any good, truss rod works, yep. You'd have to level the frets. You'd have to file down the sides of the frets. This is what I have to use that with. That works for me, and it's all I have. And then you would need to get out your old fret file or whatever kind of file you use and round the fret ends. It could use a fret polish. They're not grungy. They just need to be polished. You'd need to take a razor blade and get all the glue and gunk off of it. Figure out the stain that you're going to use. Stain it, seal it, whatever. However it is you're going to roll. Hey man, you do you. Figure out, can you get this to be flat for your locking nut to sit on? And then assess whether or not this crack right here Is it cracked? It's definitely a crack. I don't know how deep it goes. I don't know if it can be repaired. I don't know what it's from. I mean, I could feel that. Could I feel that? Sure. Do I want to feel it? No. Huh. Here's the thing about this neck, guys. This neck was ordered, and it took weeks to get here. Setting this back and waiting weeks again. Oh, man. Really not what I want to do. So just know, man, this guitar neck be a lot of work. And if you know how to do all those things that I just mentioned, you're good to go. If you don't, you want to avoid this neck. This guy right here, don't do it. Unless you know how to do all the work I just mentioned. I hope that's helpful for somebody, man. Put it in the comments. Do you have any experience with this brand? How much does this give you heartburn? Is this typical for a replacement neck on the Zon? Is it possible that somebody purchased this guitar, jacked it up, returned it to Amazon, Amazon sold it then as a new neck? That's where all the imperfections came from, perhaps. Or what is going on with this guitar neck, man? Inquiring minds want to know. Could I in good conscience recommend this neck? I could not. In fact, I'd tell you to avoid it based on my experience. Last thing I want to do is send this back and get another one just like it. But anyway, isn't it fun, man? What a journey. What a journey this thing called guitars and life is, man. Put it in the comments, man. What's your experience with replacement necks on Amazon? Well, as always, wherever you are in your guitar journey, I pray it's a long, smooth, safe, joy-filled ride for you, Jack. Rock on with your bad selves, everybody. We'll catch you down the road.